Sisi ndio tulipatia William kura ile mingi zaidi. Yeye amekalia State House kwa sababu ya kura zetu. Iko ukweli ama uongo? Sisi naomba wale watu marafiki ya rais, musidharau sisi watu ya Mlima Kenya. Musituonesha matapiko. Musituonesha madharau. Sisi ndio tulimchagua William Ruto akakuwa rais wa Kenya. Ni sisi tulimchagua, sio sisi. Kama mmechoka na sisi, mkuje hapa Githurai mtuambie. Si ndio? Kama hamutaki sisi tena, mkuje hapa Githurai mtuambie. Mtuambie hamuna.
Watu waache mchezo bana. Kama hauna plan, ondoa jam. Sijui kama tunaelewana.
What about Karl Marx? This is capitalism. Where capitalism is, the ruling always amass wealth. In whichever way, whether crude, incriminators, or whatever, they don't care. And because of that, they always treat subjects as slaves, and they don't want the poor to be up there. Now you understand why in many nations it happens that if you are rich, you always seek the rich. Even for your children, you don't want them to get into that low class. No wonder we have schools for the rich, schools for the poor. And then we have the middle class who are struggling, and they can easily end up at the low class or upper class. Now, look at our situation in Kenya as a third world nation and tell me, with capitalism, are you seeing such things? Now, in the first clip, you actually saw how GACHAGUA is up to task to ensure that he does not fall to that low class. You know, the ruling can only maintain their wealth if they are in the offices, if they have that power. But the moment they lose it, then there is no way they can actually maintain the wealth. It is possible for a nation to do anything. You actually heard what Kepaso said the other day, that the rich have, not the rich actually, but the ruling. They have a way to monitor us. They can even turn on our cameras. They can turn on our vehicle, you know. They can control everything around us. And that's why the abductions are very possible. Now, when you look at what GACHAGUA is actually talking about, in the about 2 or 3 weeks' time, he's always been crying about watu wa mlima. So when you look at this and you add 1 + 1, you can actually tell that these two are just joking with us, because each one of them is pulling to their side. Now, if you look at the second clip, what is Ruto saying? Kama huna plan ufanya nini? Kama huna plan utoke. And now, I can actually see when some people say it is out of the loot, things to do with ADANI. Maybe, you know, we've also heard about Nick and so many other things. So I understand in my own observation that it's possible that the war between the two is a result of the capitalism aspects. The struggle to maintain oneself up, and then you realize that you are insatiable insatiable interest to accumulate as much as possible so that the poor remain poor and they keep choosing them. Now, if someone goes up the ladder the way Ruto did through Moi and so many deals that he came up with, you cannot expect that he will not go for deals, and nothing will stop him, of course. So even GACHAGUA cannot stop him. And GACHAGUA, on the other hand, because he's a tycoon in his own way, he also wants to prove that he needs more. So do you understand that wealth, the greed for wealth never ends? So let's see what our senator is sharing. Now, I want you to comment if you think you actually know about this plan that Ruto is talking about there. If you actually accept what Gachagua is saying that it is watu wa Mlima ndio walimpatia kura. Now he's addressing from Githurai, remember. You can see that is the fly over there. So is he genuine or is he, just trying to threaten?
System of ours which is broken. That when you take power, when you get elected, what do you fight for? You fight to entrench yourself. You make sure that the argument and the narrative you give is that you come out and start telling your people that you see what, yes, I was getting this power to do what? To make sure that I build you, that I will give you jobs as my community, that I'll make sure that we only get PSS who are from our community. In fact, these elections, and that's why you hear GACHAGUA is constantly raising and talking about to President William Ruto, you did not win these elections. We are the ones who made you win. To me, that is the broken system we are calling Kenya political matrix. All right? And most wonderful, Ayub, I'm a Catholic in religion, and in Catholicism, we believe in the emancipation of the spirit. I'm so happy that GACHAGUA's spirit has been emancipated. He's finally realizing that now the only thing he can do is run to his community and say, whoa, hey, you see they are killing me. I'm your son. I was telling you I was going to bring you the food and the bread. You see they have taken the bread away from my hands and my mouth. I have nothing to offer you now. So please, I'm your son, take care of me. If this system was functional, if we were good leaders, if we were organizing and making sure that this is a system that should be fair, equitable, and reasonable to everybody, where Kenyans are given opportunities to share the national cake, where employment opportunities are publicly put out there and we actually accept meritocracy, where we govern without corruption and these arrangements whereby people are busy sharing the loot. The problem you have, I can tell you the truth, and if GACHAGUA spoke to me and William did, I would tell them what they're fighting about is about sharing of the loot. How government contracts, how government tenders, how the ADANI group is sharing on their own, and the GACHAGUA is not involved. So he's saying, I don't know what these people are doing. I don't understand which deal they're doing. It's the loot. You go to all the budgetary appropriations which are there. You see in every government department, Ayub, I can come with that document. Here they put 2 billion, here they put 3, here they put 4, here they put 9. At the end of it, it's 90 billion shillings or 100 that is being shared. That is the loot people are sharing. Promotions of police officers, promotions of teachers are being done by who's in office. What happens to those people who have nobody in office? This is the governance structure that we've inherited from independence. Mzee Kenyatta fought with Jaramogi. What were they fighting about? It is state resources, the distribution of land after Mau Mau. The war started. What was Moi fighting about with Professor Saitoti? What was he fighting with Kibaki? What was he fighting with the guy who was the chancellor at Nairobi University, Mungai? They are fighting about these people who are saying, please, we can't do it this way. We can't be a people who just go and grab public land, where when you have capacity and power, you go and take other people's land and change the documentation. Right now, Ayub, government land which is owned by our universities is being taken by force. And then these people take this land, then take those houses, allocate themselves, create a new company, and go back to the university and tell them, no, you know what? Now you rent these houses from us because they are ours. That is why Kiambi was fired. He was saying, what are you people doing? You have guys who are going to Nairobi West where there's Kirdi land. They are taking Kari land. I mean, this system is so dysfunctional. Is so broken down that you now come, then you have GACHAGUA on the table. Now, look at what happened between William and Uhuru. Uhuru was crying, wait a minute, he's killing me. He's taking over everything. If he becomes president, blah, 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 blah. Look at the war that came up. Look at the scandals that have come out of that. Now come to GACHAGUA and William. They were saying how this thing is wonderful. I was laughing with GACHAGUA when I was in a funeral where he was. I said, I used to be with you on TV and you would tell me how this government of Uhuru is going home and it's going to be beautiful for you. Then I told him, but you didn't tell me after Uhuru goes home what you would do.
Nauliza sasa, nyinyi vijana, William Ruto amechaguliwa juzi, mwaka moja. He has 9 years to go. You are talking about succeeding him. Mnataka kurithi mnataka kugawa mzee akiwa hai.
Now you are in the same government. You are telling me exactly the same thing you were telling me about Uhuru. You see what I'm talking about, Ayub? This now, Gachagua is making noise. I will tell you this too.
Najua wengine hamnipendi, lakini mimi sasa si lazima nipendwe. Si Pastor Dokas ananipenda. Sasa iko haja gani mimi kupendwa na wanaume? Kuna haja. We must speak the truth. And the time to fight for the farmer is now. Yeah.
And there is a lot that is also happening in this nation. And now you've just watched the 3 clips. You can actually see what Senator Onyang is talking about. Yes? The senator is telling us that based on the Catholic faith, it is good that we have had Gachagua now being emancipated in spirit and realizing that he has to go back to his people, even the lowest, because as you look at the crowds from Marigiti to Githurai to Nyeri, you actually see even the poor, the border borders and what have you. Now remember, he was together with the RUTO when they were talking about the wheelbarrow, the bottom-up nation. And all that was the politics surrounding wealth, because they were actually using that to convince people that we are caring about that poor. But in truth, if you look at Marxism, actually, there's no way the ruling can accept to be on the same table with the poor. Never, never, ever. Get the gist of it. Never. So if you are a voter next time, be sure that I'm voting yes, but I'm just being fooled. So when you look at Senator is telling us that Gachagua is just whining, but he really was up to getting that power. So I don't even know why Kenyans are so worried, and some of them are emotional. You know, hata watu wa mlima, acheni kujifanya you are now emotional, because personally, I don't see any benefit that come because someone ruling is from my community. Maybe watatengeneza barabara, yes, which is their duty. But if you are not related to them, just like the senator is saying, you are not related to them, you don't come from their maybe clan, hey, woe unto you. You just have to struggle in your own way. So when I look at Gachagua and RUTO fight, is it a kind of, you know, are they trying to deviate from the hot discussion on ADANI? The fact that Kenyans are now listening to ADANI and seeing this company is going to take over Kenya, or are they diverting from what we saw Gen Z doing, and then they took Raila, you know, Raila took advantage of the situation and then got in with some few officers, and then they are saying things are now peaceful. You know, now Gen Z are that low class, the subjects who want to get to the rulers, and it may not be possible. That is why there's a bloodshed. That is why like 32 young people are still missing, and they're not talking about it. So the senator told us that when you look at the entire discussion before Uhuru and now after Uhuru, then you must mark that it is just political pragmatics, like Senator Onyonga will tell you that the fight over the loot is the problem here. Yeah? The cake seems to be cut, you know, like big chunks are going to one part of the nation than the other, or not even a nation, but individuals. Yeah? Is it this ADANI deal? You know, we are hearing about Ketrako, we are hearing about them in NHIF, hearing them getting to the oil, whatever, the airports. Is it the fight in this? Because now that recently we heard about Nick working in a law firm for ADANI, then there are so many questions, and RUTO has been a friend to ADANI for 30 years. Can you imagine 30 good years? They may be business partners, who knows? So maybe Gachagua wishes to be a partner too. But I told you, war is war. Yeah. So now the result of this is that our economy stagnates. There are fights for 8 years because, of course, Kenya, they declare that we are ruling for 10 years. And sometimes it's impossible to just get these people out of office because, of course, we as voters, we are the problem. If you look at the Samaritan, it tells us, we the voters, we vote people because maybe they have wealth already, because maybe they have developed propaganda against others, maybe because we believe they were born to be leaders. So the challenge is not easy in capitalistic nation. You can actually see even in America that what happens. Now, how are they actually helping us in this fight? You know, Kenya is big than the two. But look at this, Uhuru, Ruto, Raila, you know, they are talking about some people, you know, so when you look at this, it's like Raila is gaining more. Ruto also. But Gachagua feels like, oh my God, I'm not getting what I want. Are you getting the gist of this? This is my narrow way of seeing things here. So the purported Nick as a lawyer of Adani is a question that I wish you comment if you know much details about this, because it's a confusion actually. We are matched in confusion. Yeah? People think that Uhuru is the proponent of Adani. Now, is Gachagua set aside in the deal? Could that be the issue? So let's watch again how we hear him complaining and whining. And let's see the views of other people.
Because really we were unfair to Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, we were very, very unfair. Sometime I really feel very bad.
Move William Ruto could make. Because Gachagua has already done what? He's radicalized Central. He has told them the food is being taken away. He's told them what they were entitled to. That is actually what they offered to President William Ruto has already been taken. So he's telling his people, please, let us figure out a way on how now we are going to do what? To disagree. This war. This is only 2 years after elections. For the next 8 years, we are going to be fighting over this issue. Most likely, if you don't watch out, this is how 2007 and 2008 started.
Okay. Yes,
If anyone says Gachagua should go, it should be both Gachagua and Ruto.
Yes, Senator.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The other day, my party leader, Honorable Raila, appointed members to join Ruto's government.
I think the president is the one who appointed.
Okay, where did those people come from?
From ODM.
Don't we belong to Nyanza?
Absolutely.
Why were only members of the Luo community elected to be cabinet secretaries?
No. Joe is Mombasa.
I am helping you understand. I am helping you understand that the problem you are blaming Gachagua for is a political problem in the whole of Kenya. When we are given opportunity to serve this country called Kenya, we first serve our relatives, our cousins, our friends, and our children.
But Onyoka, you know.
Wait. Wait. It's true.
Citizen TV Kenya. President Ruto's long-term friend Adil defends Nick Ruto's job at Adani's Kenya law firm. If you go through that story, for weeks, lawyer Nick Ruto, President William Ruto's son, has been at the center of controversy over his association with Denton's Hamilton Harrison and Matthews, a law firm that represents Adani Airport Holdings in the case challenging its bid to take over the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA. Kenyans online have raised speculations over Denton's involvement with Adani, with critics arguing the firm's deals with the government are based on its links to the country's top brass. Adil Ashed Kawaja, Safaricom board chairperson and the managing partner, which is said they are already running proposal also. Kenya Kwanza government is a one-man show. All decisions are being made at State House, Nairobi. The cabinet secretaries, these other government officials, are just being directed on what to do.
Kenya. People are entangled in so much sins and crime and looting that they become bandits who don't care, and sometimes they justify making you look like a fool, and maybe if they think you know too much, then something happens. So I just picked clips from different people. I picked something about Waruguru. I picked something about Wamshamba. I picked something from Morara Kebaso. I picked something from the State of Nation. And I picked another from GACHAGUA speaking. And so, the discussion again in the studio. Now, when you look at that discussion, and you also look at the analyst giving us a document about Nick and the relationship between RUTO and ADANI. I don't want to go deep into that. Actually, you can see Marxism, theory, and capitalistic aspects. You know, in a capitalistic nation, it's not a problem to kill. It's not a problem to loot, as far as you can make yourself as rich as possible. You can acquire land, you can invest in other countries, you can, have companies, you can control every sort of industry. And I think that's what we hear about our leaders, controlling maize, controlling sugar, controlling the industries like textile, controlling Safaricom, controlling Ketraco, controlling... Hey, Kenyans, it is a sad situation. But I think the power is with us. Kebaso has told us, and so many other people. Now, when you look at this part, you can actually see in the studio, Senator Onyonga trying to say that we don't have a part to play when it comes to pulling down GACHAGUA. They are together. They are together. The two were together when they are vying, and the two have been in office. And it's too soon to have such fights. So for the sanity of our nation, for heaven's sake, stop what they are doing and enhance development all over Kenya, regardless of where it is. Now, watu wa Mlima, don't be fooled, because even though GACHAGUA is your brother, I don't think all families have been benefiting. And RUTO might be from Rift Valley, but not every family. So even citizens, that tribal aspect should stop if we have to change this nation. Now, when you look at that discussion in the studio, as Senator Onyonga is telling us, this war is not just a war, it's something like a detractor. Yeah? Suppose we think in that lane, we would not be emotional, whether wewe ni wa Mlima, whether wewe ni wa Maji, whether you won't actually have anything to care about. Now you also hear, later on you'll hear, in the State of Nation, the indication that if GACHAGUA is pulled down, then RUTO will be, because actually the basis on which he's being pushed in the eye of the citizen, it is the similar things that our president has been doing. Like talking about tribes is something he has been doing. And every other leader does that. Yeah? So you don't cease to be a VP because you've done so. If it's violation of court and all that, pouring of blood, we've heard that. So I don't know what you think anyway. Just comment.
Twayanire kura thirikari ya Kenya Kwanza kwa kupenda kujitakia bila kulazimishwa na mtu yeyote. Na kwa hivyo ya nne, mimi nataka kuomba watu wetu, hiyo uzalendo ambayo ilituleta pamoja kuweza kutengeneza serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, ituweke pamoja hata katika taharuki ambazo zimeletwa katika taifa la Kenya. Na sisi wapiga kura, ukweli ama uongo, ambia kwa heri ya kuonana. Any man, any elected leader ambaye analeta kinyoriro kwa Rigathi Gachagua, kuanzia hii mbunge yenu ile mrefu nilisema tazo zoadare, kuanzia huyo tunasema we are going to to deal with them perpendicular.
I don't know why the government of Kenya feels shy of telling us what they are doing with such kind of investors. Okay. It is because there are so many hidden interests. So many hidden interests inside that they think if they are brought to the public arena, people are going to ask questions and
worried about kitu ya Gachagua na Kindiki. One, because I know they are not fighting for the people. Hii kupigana wanapigana, it has nothing to do with the people of Mount Kenya na wananchi. It's taking away attention. Tumeanza kusahau Adani yako kwa airport yetu. Tumeanza kusahau Adani through a company called Pietro ako sasa kwa Chief ina replace NHIF. Tumeanza kusahau Adani yako kwa Ketraco ya stima. Me, the way I'm looking at this thing, it has William Ruto's fingerprints on it.
To be fair to Gachagua, as a lawyer, I believe it's my responsibility to be fair to everybody. There is no basis, there is no grounds upon which you can even discuss Gachagua before you discuss the killer of Rex. The same parliament that in the face of glaring evidence of fake fertilizer that is mixed with soil, acquitted Linturi, now is claiming a moral high ground to purport to discuss the conduct of Gachagua in light of what he said, what I call idle political talk. For you to impeach a president or a deputy, there must be national outrage. There was national outrage here over economic situation caused by William Ruto's failed economic policies. That his response led to the death of more than 60 Kenyans. He is still abducting young Kenyans. There are forced disappearance of young Kenyans. Now, that is what we should be discussing as an impeachment motion, not regarding Gachagua's idle talk. And even the time it was said was more than 1 year ago. So these people are trying to, in my view, they are trying to distract us from the core issues of the nation. And more so at this particular point, the economic challenges of the people of Kenya and the state capture by Adani. Because if you compare aura for aura, Adani and Gupta, both Indians, both...
We've actually come to an end, and political analysis is not easy. I've been of so much interest in politics, but no other time was as good as now. So, as I'm learning from other analysts, I'm actually getting to link one with the other. Now look at the Kindiki politics in this. The fact that Kindiki possibly was the one to be the VP, and the president did not trust him because he chose Gachagua over Kindiki. That is what Wamshamba told us. So what is this they are telling us again? Is Kindiki fighting with Gachagua because of the capitalistic aspect I've told you? So Kenyans, we don't have to be emotional because of this. We just have to seek our way to make our country better. We just have to be oversight and make our president and the vice president work together, but make things better for us. Let us have a nation that is sane, so that our children will not die of hunger. We will not miss to have children go to school. We will not lack promotions. We will not miss opportunities. Yeah? It's not bad to love your people, but then when you begin helping only your tribe, jobs come up, you assist your own. Maybe opportunities come up, you want to be the one in everything. What? Is that a nation? So if not subscribe to my channel, I urge you to subscribe because I rely on you. If you watch my content, that's what makes me work more. And share my content. Critique where possible. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll meet you next in another discussion.